May peace be with you. May sunny days be with you. May arrogant ways of living in a narcissistic world be without your company. May you live in a world where suicidal people are actually the most sentimental. If your name is Eleonora, if your name is Allison, if your name is Joanne, if your name is anything, doesn't really matter what your name is. What matters is your world. Your world is not what you see around you. If your world was Starbucks, uh, Church's Chicken, um, ripping off your own cognizance and learning nothing throughout your whole life, then go ahead and be who you want to be. But what you want is not always what you need. If I was going to talk to a 10-year-old girl, I would explain to them what happens to people who are infants. Some people are forced to live a different life. They don't get that sort of glamour or that sort of glee or that sort of giddiness. They get nothing. They get said that they are bad. They get told they are evil. They get told that they are cruel. They get told that they are formulated out of a constructed angst. They don't have an active sentiment to force themselves to become something other than what they were told. And rude awakenings happen all the time. Rude awakenings are going to happen now. Correlated apathy is stating your mind and doing what you want and also what you need to do at the same time. I have empathy for somebody in here in this world of mine, and it's angst that drives me away from the people that I should be talking to. I can't stand the cops. They look at me and they call me they call me a man. They call me a drug addict. They call me a disgustingly arrogant sight to see. They say that I'm evil, and the fact that I can't stand people who are sadistic. I don't like talking to people who are sadistic because they don't know anything and they can't even compute empathy on a logical level. If they do something for you, it's because they want you to stay around them at all times and they don't want you to leave. Give me a handgun, please, so I can shoot something. I don't care what it is. But at least I know if I shot somebody, it would be like a very horrible person. It would be like a child rapist, or like an animal killer, or like a homeless person who gives people heroin and methamphetamines and poisons them and tries to sleep with them. When I was younger, I would travel around and sometimes I would hang out with people who were kind of off-putting. But see, I don't read people's minds, but now I can. And I was around somebody very vile. The person spent 3 years in a federal prison for a crime involving the rape of a 3-year-old little girl, and he was forced to enjoy anal pleasure in that setting. Um, you don't think it's sexual assault, but I do. I think it's sexual assault. Here's why: if somebody raped my 3-year-old daughter, which I don't know if I have one, maybe I do, maybe I don't. All I know is that a lot of people have children with my DNA because something happened to me when I was a baby, and they did an experiment, and they were able to create this sort of like magical, like a seminal fluid, where they can get people pregnant if they want to be like a surrogate parent. There's also some weird racial like identity too, where some people think it's like the child of like God or the child of some like super Saiyan Nazi from like hell. I don't know. Anyways, creepy stuff aside, the person I'm talking about, the person I was just talking about, his name is Darren. I think. Who cares what his fucking name is? I think his name is Drift. It's like Drifter or something. That guy is so fucking traumatized that he literally pisses himself every night, and he goes and he has to sleep next to somebody because he's so off-putting, so fucking creepy that if you looked at him and said anything remotely nice to him, that he would be, I guess, condescendingly empathetic towards you, but it wouldn't be like in like a way that you'd want. It'd be like in a creepy way. It'd be like, hey, come here, like, dude, hang out with me and like sleep next to me. I was sleeping alone because I got like attacked. You got attacked, Drifter, because you did something very horrible, and a senile justice system thinks that going through pain and mutilation is going to make things better. But it's the fact is they're sociopathically driven and they're not courting or caring people. Stay away from me. Don't ever look at me because now that I know what you're about, I'm not going to be your friend. And in fact, that's why I stopped being a nomad. Is because I found out how rough the homeless population is. There's a bunch of homeless people out there who have been to prison who were let off the charges because they were forced to go through sexual acts in prison. And I want my daughters to know about this stuff so they can analyze the people around them better. A lot of times, people are angled and angry at people around them, but they don't understand. There's a small percentage of people out there, homeless people, who have very high IQs who can do stuff for you. They can do artwork for you. They can work. They can even grab a sledgehammer and cut firewood with a wedge. They could like draw out blueprints. They could like teach you how to like I don't know, perform some sort of culinary etiquette. They could ask you questions. They could be your friend. You could be someone who's very special. You could meet someone very special, someone who will sit there with you every night and talk to you and watch movies with you and drink coffee with you and drink beer with you and laugh with you and sit there. Is it me? No, it's not. But there's people out there who should be who should be taken in and given hope. Hope, it comes from a sentimental angled relationship, and my angled relationship is with myself only. I decided to become an agnostic person because I don't like the way people look at me. I don't like the way the cops look at me. The cops look at me like I'm bad. The hospital looks at me like I'm bad. I go into the hospital, I tell them I'm suicidal, but it's not even like even that erratic. It's just like, hey, dude, I don't even feel good. I'm hearing a lot of shit in my head, and I feel like I don't even belong here. And they go and they get all creepy. They're like, well, we can give you some devil coat and we can give you some Ativan. Don't please don't tuck us. Like these scared Jewish like crackheads with like these beady eyes. I'm like, I'm not actually suicidal. What I am is desperate for something to make me feel better. If you gave me like a Percocet or maybe a fucking Adderall pill, maybe I'd be a better person. It might make me happy. No way. It would just make me balanced, and my brain wouldn't be going crazy. You want logical income? Logical income is when you do stuff that's logical and according to a person's brain. It also keeps them balanced. It keeps them in their head. It keeps them. It doesn't keep them happy. No one likes being happy if they're intelligent. A college student does not want to be happy. A college student wants to be focused, methodical, and well organized. They don't want to feel euphoric. That's why college students do Adderall and Percocet, and they drink some beer when they get too stressed out. They don't go out and like cling to this idea that Molly and opium and synthetic mood stabilizers are their answer. And yeah, there are college students out there that don't do anything. They're called straight edge. Those people are angled empathy vampires, though, for me, because when they look at you and they tell you what they do, I look at them and I go, no, don't talk to the people over there in that circle with the drums and in the pot and the bottle. Don't even go over there because you're not welcome anywhere. Stay indoors all day long. I believe one day the world will be a synthetic world where everything is mundane and zombified, and the most vile people called the tyrants. The tyrants will be like these enraged PCP addicts that will like come out of the woods and like kill people because they were forced to go through like horrible sexual assaults and like brutal beatings, and like they were poisoned with like heroin and different types of substances that made them into animalistic urges in human form. Train spotting is what I do. I look at the world and I live in it because I walked in their shoes. I slept next to a child rapist. I beat myself up over and over again. I told myself I wasn't a good person. I put myself below those people in some cases, but those people should not be on the streets. I'll be very blunt with you. You either kill those people after they committed their crime, like right after they commit the crime. That's that heinous. But remember, it's only for people who are straight up rapists, penetration involved. I don't care about the other people. Okay, so don't talk to me about those people. But if you cause a person to go to prison for 3 years and your people put that person through that traumatic train of events, when they get out, I want you to just put them somewhere like in the woods, like buy them a trailer, buy them like a little house, and force them to stay up on the property and have somebody go up there and deliver food for them. Like a big security guard, like some like rough, like some really badass, like a trained person, like a person with like a lot of combat skills, a lot of psychological empathy, and one that's trained to basically like tell the people like that to get off the planet. Be like, we're not gonna kill you. Here's what you have to go through, but we will keep you up here, and you are going to just do what you have to do. You do your work. We don't care if you grow your own vegetables. Stay up here. No electricity. You get running water. That's all we're gonna give you. Do not give them access to movies because most likely they will want to watch stuff that's very gross. It's an empathetic psychotic break. What happens when people are raped in prison brutally and they're beat and they're stuck in a cell with a serial killer? They become psychotic and empathetic. And yes, those people will attack people, but it's in a very cruel and disgusting way. They will not punch you. They will wait till you're sleeping, and they will probably try to inject you with something to poison you and make you go into a seizure. That's a train spotting lesson for a day. Angled arrogance and formulates sexual sadism in the prison complex system, which is very cruel. Eleonora, you're an echelon. You are the echelon because you come from me, and I'm better than the people you're around. Here's why: your dad is a joking person, and he likes to joke people. But he drove by me and he saw me, right? But he didn't even know who I was. He didn't even think of me as a human. He was like, "Here, want a job? Yeah, dude. Sure, I'll go work. I'll go work for you. Whatever. Sure. Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm gonna go to college actually. Starting the next couple months, I'm gonna take a couple classes there, and I'm gonna blow their minds with my essays and my train of thought and my blessings of artwork. And I'm gonna look at them and tell them what happened to me, and I'm gonna say, look, I want to infiltrate the child development. I want to infiltrate the child development literature that's been placed out there. I want to look at them and tell them the real harsh truth about child development and what happens to children who are assaulted for prolonged periods of time, and people who are poisoned with opiates and fentanyl and heroin. And I want to explain to them how child development is correlated with prison, and how people in prison are not developed because they didn't get any child development. They got nothing except sociopathic, grandiose narcissism or sexual sadist parenting, formulated out of constructs and continuations. Cathegula is a person who is highly affected by sexual sadism and violent imagery. So he put people under and he made them hallucinate, and he said, there you go. That's what you get. You get to see what I get to see, so you gain empathy for people who are sick and artistic. Force yourself to utilize caring kinship, or else go to hell forever.